We spend so much time searching for ancient, complex secrets to solve our modern problems. But what if that complexity is actually what's keeping us from finding what works? Before the mid-20th century, the world of traditional Chinese kung fu was highly exclusive and deeply guarded. Training was largely hidden from the public, weighed down by rigid, unyielding tradition. The barriers to entry for a new student were punishing. Beginners were forced to stand in a painful, static horse stance for up to 3 years before learning a single punch or block. And when they finally did learn the mechanics of combat, the techniques were obscured by cryptic poetry and esoteric concepts like the yin and the yang, the Bagua trigrams, and the 5 elements. The entire system functioned as a mystical endurance test. It was a philosophy of exclusion rather than a practical, accessible tool for self-defense. In 1949, Grandmaster Ip Man arrived in a booming, fast-paced transit hub, Hong Kong. The slow, traditional pace of mainland training suddenly collided with a harsh, immediate reality. Hong Kong's streets were crowded and plagued by rising gang violence. Ip Man's primary students here weren't monks or aristocrats. They were ordinary working people and street youths, including a teenager named Bruce Lee, who were dealing with daily physical threats. These students didn't have 3 years to decode ancient poetry or hold static stances in a courtyard. They needed functional defense that could be applied immediately. The intense environmental pressure of this city forced Ip Man to make a choice. He decided to completely reinvent the pedagogical foundations of his art. Ip Man looked at the curriculum he had inherited and determined the mysticism was largely just noise. He stripped it away. Instead of quoting proverbs, he replaced the ancient esoteric terms with the universal laws of Western physics, mathematics, and geometry to explain human biomechanics. His first concept was the centerline theory, which reframes combat as an exercise in pure geometry. If you draw a vertical line down the human body, the most vital targets, eyes, throat, and groin, intersect that single axis. This illustrates a basic geometric truth. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Keeping actions along this axis maximizes speed. Then there is the wedge principle. This relies on the physical law that 2 objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. A solid geometric wedge can drive forward through an opposing force, splitting it apart to protect that center line. Applying this shape physically allows a Wing Chun practitioner to block and strike simultaneously. You displace the incoming force using angles and structure, removing the need for brute strength. By translating poetry into geometry, Ip Man transformed Wing Chun into a science of physical efficiency. He applied this same philosophy of subtraction to the timeline of learning. He threw out the mandatory 3-year rule for practicing static stances completely. To accelerate student development, he leaned into a partner drill called Chisao, or sticking hands. To a casual observer, Chisao looks like a mystical energy transfer. In reality, it is a form of neurological training designed to build tactile reflexes. By staying relaxed while maintaining contact, practitioners learn to feel physical intentions through touch. This bypasses the brain's slower visual processing time. You aren't watching for a punch. You feel the pressure shift before the strike even forms. The sense of touch is the body's fastest reflex. When you train to react instinctively, you can respond to threats simultaneously. This scientific approach produced a measurable result. The time required to build a functional self-defense foundation dropped from 3 years to just 3 months. By stripping away the heavy weight of tradition, Ip Man rebuilt Wing Chun as a logical, economical system adapted for the modern world. This exact mindset, cutting through the noise to find the essential, was the intellectual seed he planted in a teenage Bruce Lee. Ip Man's teachings directly led to Lee's philosophies regarding the art of detachment and the necessity of emptying the mind to become formless like water. Ip Man's revolution provided a psychological framework for freeing the mind from unnecessary, rigid structures. The principles governing Wing Chun can apply as a philosophy for managing space, energy, and focus. Controlling the physical center line provides a model for managing personal boundaries. It forces you to prioritize what is essential, the core axis, and discard any movement that doesn't serve to protect or advance that central goal. In everyday life, this manifests as the mental discipline to maintain stability, ensuring that outside distractions never divert you from your primary purpose. When everyday life gets overwhelmingly complicated, how can stripping away the noise help you find your own center line?